Do you want to know how to concede less goals on FIFA 22 and keep those clean sheets? In today's video, we're going to tell you exactly how to do that. Tip number 1, second man press is ridiculously strong in FIFA 22. It's not strong in the area where we want it to be, in that final third to press the ball holder, but inside your own half, on the edge of the box, inside the 18-yard box, second man press is so useful. How do we use it? Simply put, this is where you hold the R1 button on PlayStation or RB on Xbox. You will see a green icon above your player's head, and it will grab a player who you are not controlling. It normally tends to be the man that is closest to the ball. The longer you hold it down, the player will go and press the ball holder, and they will do this for a maximum of 4 seconds before it will change to a red icon, which means that they have ran out of that pressure. Why is this so good? Well, essentially you are sending the AI to go and press the ball holder, and they will normally do a better job of it than yourself. But what it also means is that you can actually control another player and cover off the next pass, which is so crucial when someone looks for that extra pass off inside that 18-yard box. It essentially allows you to defend with 2 players at any given time and also get those last ditch blocks in. Make sure you use second man press. It is so vital. Do just be mindful to not use it and drag a player drastically out of position. Our next tip is going to be right stick switching, and specifically covering over the top through balls. Over the top through balls and counter attacking is very strong on FIFA 22, and players look for this as much as they possibly can. You need to be able to select your centre backs with the right stick, where you flick the right stick to the player that you want to control and then manipulate your run in a way to give yourself that head start on that over the top through ball. I will do this even if the player doesn't go for that over the top through ball, so I'm just putting my centre backs on the path that I want them to be on to ensure that we are covering that through ball. I will then press L1 or LB to switch back to the closest guy to the ball and then put manual pressure onto the ball holder. Please do stop complaining about over the top through balls if this is something that you haven't learned in your game, because you have to utilise them and make sure that you're covering them, because it is so strong on FIFA 22. Our next tip is going to be talking about what you are doing inside the 18-yard box and just outside when you're protecting your centre backs. So many people try to go ahead and tackle where the ball is or where the player is and not where they are going. You need to think about, if you were the attacker right now, where would you want to move? Where would you want to put your player to give yourself the best body angle, the position on the pitch? Think about that when you're defending. So where is the opponent going to go in attack rather than where they are? Because if you try and tackle where they are, you are going to be too late to that ball. They're going to take a quick touch away, a skill move away, whatever it may be, and then you're tackling Casper the Ghost because no one is there. Think about where the player is going and where they want to get their best body position, the best angle on the pitch to possibly look for a shot or a pass. This really comes into play inside that 18-yard box. Next up is when to actually tackle. I see so many people try and tackle when the ball is really close to a player's feet. So when they're doing some real nice dribbling, they're keeping the ball nice and tight and really covering you from getting in and getting that ball with a tackle. You want to try and tackle when the ball has been shown to you. What do I mean by this? If someone takes a big touch with sprint, or they do a skill move and you know the animation of that skill move, meet them where the ball is going to be. So if they take that big touch where it is going ahead, and you can then press the tackle button with circle on PlayStation, B on Xbox, and crunch into that. Make sure that you are aiming your left analog stick where you want your player to tackle to give you the best success rate to go ahead and win that ball. This also comes into play with skill moves, for example. If you know the opponent is doing a reverse elastico, you know where the ball is going to go, you can meet them at the end of that animation and tackle the ball there. Outside the 18-yard box, you can also do R1 and circle, RB and B, when you are 100% sure you're going to get a tackle in, and this is going to be for a power hard tackle, which just means you've got much more chance of winning that ball. But it is a longer animation, So if you don't win the ball, it will leave your player out of position just that little bit longer. Next up, you're doing all of this. You're doing really well inside the 18-yard box on the counter attacks. You're taking all of these tips on board. Occasionally, the opponent will get through and maybe they have a 1v2 scenario. You really need to have patience in this area. Don't rush the goalkeeper out when they've got 30 yards still to run. You will catch up. You've just got to play angles as best as you possibly can. Try and cover off their extra pass. Bring the goalkeeper out ever so slightly and then put them back on the line. Just have patience. If someone gets in to the one-on-one scenario and you're like, right, they're probably going to score here, all you are trying to do is anything possible to just put them off. Even if you can get close to the opponent and get a little tug on their shirt, you can just put some pressure on. Maybe you can force them out towards the wing. You're going to make sure that they have a very hard time of it when trying to put that ball in the back of the net. Yes, they may still score, but the whole point is that you don't need to go rash into tackles, get a man sent off. You don't need to bring the goalkeeper flying out and make it easy for them to walk it past the goalkeeper. Patience is king here. Try and delay the opponent from shooting for as long as possible, closing down the angles and making it extremely difficult. This is an absolutely massive tip, and it's one that so many people are guilty of. Stop dragging your defenders out. Specifically your centre-backs. So many people come charging out with those centre-backs and they pull them out of position. Whenever you pull someone out of position, there is a gap for another player to exploit or someone on your team to have to cover for. Football and FIFA is very much like a game of chess. The longer you can keep your players in their right position, the best possible chance you have to not concede goals. Simply put, the more men you have behind the ball and the more men in the right position at the right time, it makes it difficult for the opponent to break through. Occasionally, the opponent will do something a little bit more unique where they will find their way through, but as long as you know your centre-backs are where they're meant to be, your full-backs don't get beaten too easily, and your centre defensive mids are there ready to defend, you will look in a good scenario. If the opponent has the ball 35 yards out, bring the striker back to press that ball holder, or your wingers, for example, instead of dragging that centre defensive mid out, leaving a gaping hole in the middle of the park. So there we have it then. Those are our defensive tips to help you keep more clean sheets and concede less goals on FIFA 22. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. All the socials are down below. Thank you all for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.